What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Thinking Out Loud podcast. I'm your host, Dustin Cowan. This is my co host, Justin Gonzalez. We are bringing this show to you from South Carolina and Philly. Cuz, what's going on, man?
Other than being like extremely cold, I'm so happy February's over. But we good out here. Not too much happening out here. I feel like just really cold, and February was like a really weird month out here. But glad it's over. What's going on down there?
What's the
Anything exciting?
what's the temperature in Philly?
It's it don't, let me see. It's reading. I think it's reading like. I'll tell you exactly what it is right now. Okay. It says 37, bro, but it feels like 21.
It was 77 degrees here yesterday.
Yo.
Charleston, South Carolina it's been crazy, man. So like it's 77 degrees yesterday. It started off about like maybe 47 today, got up to maybe about 60, then dropped back down as soon as the sun dropped. And and I was outside all day today. I was outside all day today. So today, power of advertisement. So I advertised my skid steer um, skills on Facebook Marketplace, right? So very randomly, do you get somebody who's going to give you exactly what you asked for? So this one guy called me, texted me. He's like, "Hey man, I need you to come clear something. I can do it for 250." He says 300. I said, "Bet." He says it's about an hour worth of work. I said, "Cool." I said, "You about an hour away. That'll make up the difference in the driving, gas, whatever not." Another guy calls me, "Hey man, I need you tomorrow. Could you do this? I pay you $500." I was like, "Bet." And so bang bang, got him out. Ended up getting tipped, so I made a little bit more, and it actually worked all out. And it's really appreciated when people do business right. Said what they
Mm.
said what they wanted, and they did what they said. I did what they asked me to do. I got paid for it. Good business. And this one guy was on a barbecue spot. He um he was clearing a lot for his. I want to say he was going to put a concrete slab and maybe put his barbecue pit back there. And then another guy, he works at HUD Homes, and so he was cleaning up one of these homes for the HUD Homes, and he gets paid based off the amount of garbage he hauls away from these HUD Homes. I
Mm.
never heard of it before, but he was a very interesting guy, very insightful. And then after he paid me, he sparked up a blunt and drove all the way to Columbia, South
I'm dead. I'm dead.
Carolina.
You had a good ride.
They all had a good ride. They all had a good ride, bro. But yeah, man, that was my day today, so I was doing pretty good.
It sounds like it. Sounds like a productive day. I closed the deal today though. That was dope.
There we go. There we
Yeah,
go.
I closed the deal. That was cool. A little bit of a headache, but once I think in sales is like really important to build that rapport with people. You got to
100%.
find their why, and I'm getting like really good at finding people's whys
Right.
and attacking it, like and seeing if I can even help the why. If I can't help the why, I won't waste my time. But I'm getting really good at like getting there quickly.
Yeah.
And I can decide whether or not like do I do I continue to spend time on this or do I move on.
Right.
So this one I had to pull a little bit, but you know.
Uh, you know? Okay. All
You
right.
know. If you know, you know.
If you know, you know. Okay. All right. All right. So, man, you've been watching TV. You seemed pretty pumped when we spoke pre-production. We have pre-production on this show. But
Yes.
you were talking about your show, Shogun, I think
Yeah.
it is.
Yo, so Shogun just came out. Absolutely amazing. Everything's good about it so far. I'm 2 episodes in. And it's really interesting because it's showing
Give the people a little backstory. What's the show about?
okay, so it's basically Shogun is pretty much like the head honcho. That's the title, like the highest title in Japan, right? At that particular time, feudal. This is I guess feudal Japan. So this is the time era where Japan just kind of settled all its civil wars. Um, I forget exactly the name of the guy. I think he's regarded as the Monkey King in history. I don't know exact name right now, but we'll get to that maybe another time. But basically, he's dying, and he has no eligible heir because his son is too young. You have to be at least 16. But there's no eligible heir to take over the throne, so he has to make a decision. Either I pass it off to one dude, and they protect my son, and then become emperor, which is dangerous because if the other warlords just gang up and wipe out that family, because
Right.
Japan's all about that. They just come in, wipe everybody out, just next. You know what I mean?
Right.
So he was like, "Nah." And the guy was like, "He's like, I want to appoint you." And the guy was like, "Well, that's dangerous. How about we just split it up?" He was like, "All right, that's smart." So they split up between five regions. Now the regions are it's kind of interesting because two of them are Catholic. Because now this is a period where the Portuguese and Spaniards have been trading and whatnot with Japan. So yeah, them two, and then the other ones are like straight up, Japanese, Buddhist, old school. But the Catholicism part is very important because they're bringing in money. So
Okay.
now they're getting cannons, they're getting weapons, they're getting different things, all from England and the rest of the world. So that Silk Road, or whatever, is very Magellan Silk Road is
Yeah.
very important. So long story short, the English are kind of late to this game. So this pirate, his whole mission is to find these different areas, kind of etch them out, and then report back, or like establish a line of trade with Japan, like one of the warlords, somebody just get a piece of the game.
Right.
He ends up getting captured. Um, he's the main captain gets saved, but they kill off the rest of the guy. And I mean, when they kill these prisoners, man, they throw them in a I mean, the Japanese were ruthless, man. They threw him in this brew ha pot with hot boiling water and watched this guy boil alive and was like timing him like, well, damn, he went 2 hours longer than normal. You know what I mean? So that happens. But at the end of it, where I'm at right now is basically this English guy is kind of getting some respect now, and now the warlords or the regents are starting to be like, this one guy's he's taking particular interest because he knows he's cornered, and they're planning to like wipe him out and take his title or put someone in his spot so they can control him. So he's like, you know what? Let me see with this English guy how he can help me before we actually kill him. And the English guy, since he's different, and I'm missing a part. There's Catholicism and there's Protestants too. So the Japanese don't know the difference between the two. They just think they're all Christians. They all serve the same God, which they do, but they do it differently.
Right.
So they're learning now, like, wow, the Portuguese are really like low key stabbing us in the back and trying to take our land and our power. So this English guy pretty much, I'm at the point right now, he's establishing like, yo, back home, these lands are already claimed, right?
Hmm.
Y'all just don't know it yet. They
Yeah.
just slowly,
But you still got to come take it.
you still got to come take it. However, the more time they spend there, the more people they get to convert to Catholicism, right?
Mm,
The harder it is for the Japanese person to go kill him.
right.
You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
that's where it's at now. It's like, damn, some of these guys want to kill this guy, but they're like, yo, we can't kill someone that's God fearing. But the Buddhists are like, yo, what the hell with that? He gotta go now. Like, cut his head
Yeah.
off.
Yeah.
But they're like, no. Like, if not, we're gonna commit sin, and then we're not gonna go where we need. You know what I mean? Like, our afterlife war is gonna be messed up.
Right.
So I think what's really interesting about it, you see how loyal the Japanese are to their faith, and it
Mm.
seems like, and this
To a
happens in
fault.
repeat. Yeah, to a
Mm.
fault, right? At the end of the day, it's about money and power, but you can tell like how like the church colonized all from Africa to all the other places, like how they influenced through this word of God. Now, how they did that, I'm sure they're going to show that, but it's very interesting how powerful the church was,
Yeah.
and the merchants and then these priests are all working together. So, and the Japanese don't know it. They think, oh, that the church is just like, for instance, this is one scene. Um, they go to the pirate ship and they get all these books, all these logs, right? And it has everything. This pirate, he wrote down everything, all these bases, blah blah blah, and it's all good. It would work in the Portuguese favor up until like the last part of the book where he's right, and it shows like the Portuguese sabotaging the Japanese. So
Mm.
that book, there's a there's a Japanese guy that he's kind of like the what would you call it? An
Translator,
international. No, he's not a translator. He runs like the international. Um, what's the word for that?
like trade, foreign trade, or like what do you mean? International,
He,
uh,
he-
com,
he's
com,
he's um he's the foreign. He's like the foreign international relations person.
ambassador.
Yes, he's
There
like
we go,
that. However,
ambassador.
he's not a translator, right? But he's just kind of controlling and all that. So, damn, I lost my point a little bit. So basically, this book they handed to these Portuguese to translate it so that they get it. And this is exactly what they do. They get it and they kind of start blacklining things, right? So
Okay,
now they got this book. Now they're like, wow, thank God this didn't get to the to the emperor or to the shogun because this
right.
we or any of the regions we would have they would have wiped this all out right then and there. So it just goes to show you like how manipulative these people were.
How manipulative religion can be.
Oh man, and I mean they learned their languages, they did it, and they come with grace and they're so kind and all these things, and we can do this, and here's your goal. They distract you with the goal and all that. Meanwhile, they're putting all these new policies in your country. Now they got politics in your country. Now they got ports. Next, you know, they got a base. You know, and all that's coming. They slowly. It's like a virus. It just slowly just destroys your economy, and then
Yep,
next you know, you on your knees looking up at the cross. You know what I'm saying? And then everybody's in chains. You know,
it's
and then
bad.
now you paying taxes. So it's like, damn, that's what happened to America, right? That's what happened to Africa. That's what happened to India, right? All these people
Yeah,
were colonized by all these Europeans.
yeah.
It's just like, man, a country so sophisticated like Japan, right? How do they get distracted by this? You know, like how? As powerful as they could have wiped them out easily. But it's like, how?
You know,
Interesting.
divisiveness. Divisiveness has become almost more powerful than money.
Oh man, it's
Like you're black, I'm white. You're red, I'm blue. You know, you're pro choice, pro life, or pro abortion, pro life. You know, it's so many. It's so many. It, homosexual marriage, non homosexual marriage.
correct.
You know, transgenders, non transgenders.
Correct.
Um, gun policies, non gun policies.
And it's all timing too. So if the Europeans would have came like 100 years earlier, right, when Japan was in its prime and there was like a lot of stuff going on, they would have like wiped them out easily.
Right,
But because
right.
it was peace, and it was like, all right, y'all coming over here with these cannons and stuff and gunpowder, like stuff we don't even know about yet. And we all know how good the Japanese are at reverse engineering and then
Oh
making their own
yeah,
thing, right, like way more efficient, but they weren't at that point yet. So the opening scene, they pretty much you see this boat and they go on and they're like, wow, look at all this stuff. Like,
you ever
you
seen
know,
the first DVDs? You ever remember them? The
yeah,
the first DVDs were like the size of a record, right?
yeah, they're huge.
Let the Chinese got it or the Japanese whoever got it, and they reduced it down to the disc. And look how long the CD and DVD took. Like what we had like about 20 years of CDs and DVDs after tapes and vinyl. So like that's very interesting. Um, I think like I said before, divisiveness is very powerful. But then um, oh, I'm not losing my train of thought. It's interesting because you say like how does someone infiltrate like that, but it's really just that simple. Like you know Bob doesn't like Dan, okay, but oh, that's what I was gonna go at. So you talk about all this stuff, this divisiveness, right? But then they don't want you to talk about it, but they distract you. That's what it was. They distract you with the illusion of, in this case, trade. In America here, it's entertainment, right? Look what the stars are doing. Look at what Cam Newton's doing. Look at what Wendy Williams is doing. But don't talk about being Republican or Democrat or being Christian or Muslim because that's not important. Don't talk about the stock market because that's not important. Don't talk about the house prices. You don't discuss what you pay in mortgage. You don't discuss your salary. So you can educate yourself to learn what to do with your salary, what your mortgage should be, what stocks are trending, and how Republicans are treating Democrats and how Democrats are treating Republicans. Don't talk about that though. Don't talk about religion. No, don't talk about that.
I'm talking
Talk
about
about
religion.
the game. Talk, talk about that movie you watched.
Yep, stay in your lane,
Yeah,
LeBron. Stay in your
yeah,
lane.
yeah. Don't talk about that. That's where it was. That's where I was going. But yeah, so that's really what it was. Like you said, they distracted him with trade. I got this cannon. What does that do? It'll shoot through that tree. No, it won't. Bow. Oh wow. How many of these you got? Oh, I got another trick. Check this handgun out. What will that do? It'll kill that dude before he can even pull his sword. No, it won't. Pow. He's dead. So it's kind of that's all it was. Is entertainment, right? Entertainment back then was probably war, and now entertainment is video games, basketball, football, and whatever's on your TV.
Yeah, it's kind of that. It's in that part where like it's kind of like the end of like the samurai, right? It's like kind of like where it's right before the samurai turn into like Ronin, where it's like,
Right,
you know what I mean? Like the samurai don't have a purpose anymore because there's no more war and stuff. It's
right.
kind of right in the beginning of that stage where it's like almost too peaceful, and Japan just failed at conquering Korea.
Okay.
I don't know if you knew that, right? Japan,
No,
they tried to conquer Korea back then. Yeah, they
too,
failed though.
too
Yeah,
bad.
they failed. But yeah, it's interesting. I recommend everybody go check it out. It's on Hulu. Well shot, like well shot. Like you'll be satisfied with it. It's a good show.
Oh, I might check it out. I got a month left in my Hulu account, so
Yeah,
I'm
man.
trying to afford this house, so I got to cut costs. Speaking of divisiveness and entertainment, let's talk about your boy, Cam Newton. Now, you can't see the pictures that I got posted on the screen, but this is Cam Newton back at probably Carolina. He's got his dreads grown out. He looks like a lion roaring. He looks like the beast of a man that he is. He looks like somebody you don't want to mess with.
Correct.
Unfortunately, four people did want to mess with him, and they figured out why they didn't. Oh man, I know you've seen the video. I know you've seen the tape. I know you've seen the memes and all the other stuff this week. It's been kind of going crazy. What's your thoughts about Cam Newton getting to the altercation at his 7-on-7 that he hosts, pays for, and happens to be designed for underprivileged youth, or what is it? Yeah,
So again, I think this is another example of black folks getting way too emotional over just a little bit of trash talk and just kind of forgetting the overall picture of like this is a free camp trying to elevate kids to the next level, pure competition, right? Nobody should be fighting. There's no money involved. It's just pure competition. It was a little trash talk. So yeah, I think he was trash talking to one of the coaches. They felt some type of way. They got a little emotional. Now you're gonna go ahead and attack the guy who's paying you and giving you this opportunity to possibly elevate to the NFL or collegiate level, right? And now it's kind of all ruined. And now all these parents, these kids, like
it's a
it,
it's a bad
when
example
is the
for the
cycle gonna break, man? It's
yeah.
like when is the cycle gonna break? When people gonna wake up? When we gonna stop shooting each other? When we gonna stop doing all that? You know what I mean? When we gonna do all that? When we gonna do like, yo, listen, if we all just come together, 100 of us, right? Put all of our money together, we
It's
can be more
you
powerful.
know
All
what
you need is 100 dudes.
you know what we don't even have to put our money together. You know what we have to do? We just have to control where we send it. That's it. Just send it the direction we're all sending it to.
I'm tired of
We
it,
don't have to
man.
put all we don't have to put all in the pot. You keep everything you got. But listen, we're not going left. We're going right in this situation. Hey, we're going left in the next situation, and we're going straight in the situation after that. And then
Like
that
when we
that's
go,
and that's how we start becoming colonizers ourselves instead of being slaves or
we playing the wrong game, man.
yeah,
We
play
playing
we're
the
playing
wrong.
the
We out
wrong
here
game.
trying to colonize blocks that our parents rent.
Right. Because we selling a little cocaine.
That's coming from.
You guessed it, a white man. So, but back on Cam though, because that was deep. First off, I think the biggest thing we should note is that the fact that these were four grown men and you all got mistaken for children in the camp. That right there alone should let you know you shouldn't mess with Cam Newton because compared to him, you look like a 14-year-old child or a 15-year-old. You look like a child. You look like a
Cam
seven
looked
on.
so big compared to them guys. It was like it's insane.
You look like a 7-on-7 athlete that's trying to do something and learn something from this.
And
But you
Cam was
guys are
from like four people. He was like, yeah,
You know what's
yeah.
you know what's amazing is that the 3-on-1 when it got to 3-on-1 is like he wasn't even phased by a little bit. He's like, yo, first off, I've had 300-pound dudes try to tackle me my whole life. All of y'all together might make up 300 pounds. What are you gonna do with me? Nobody got to the legs. No one even. I mean, the dude was stuck on his hip. The dude who's trying to swing him at the end, who took a cheap shot, he just was like, it's like Neo in the Matrix. He looked at that stuff and was like, he was like, I can't believe you just. All right, let me move out the way. I can't believe you just threw that punch. Like it was. He looked so ready for the moment. It wasn't even funny. I'm glad it was self defense. I'm glad it wasn't any kids. I'm glad no one got hurt. I think Cam's a bigger person. But to his discredit, this is about the fourth time something like this has happened at a camp that he was around. I don't know if he's always hosting or he's always in them. I believe it's time for him to give this up. Like
Mm.
the kid who said, "Well, you're not. Nobody wants you to play football with them." He said, "I'm rich," and then like I I I think people don't understand. Cam was the MVP of the National Football League. He won the national championship at Auburn. You couldn't tell me what Auburn's done besides Bo Jackson and Cam Newton. Like me,
Mm.
not me. It's all Auburn. I think Bo Jackson. I think Cam Newton. That's it.
Charles Barkley.
Okay, Charles Barkley, but that's before me, right? So I don't think that. So is Bo Jackson, but I know Bo's story. But so like you talking about someone who took. Oh, also he's on the Carolina Panthers and took him to the Super Bowl. Carolina Panthers. I don't know if you guys know this. I'm from South Carolina. They suck. They suck. They sucked when Cam got there. Cam got them to the Super Bowl. Cam got an MVP on that team. Cam went to the Super Bowl with nobody over 1,000 yards on his team.
Hmm.
Like
Yeah.
you're talking about a different athlete. He's different. No, he didn't win the big thing, but he is a different athlete. And you think three guys that weigh 120 pounds are going to do something to him? You guys are nuts. But I think that Cam definitely needs to stop participating in the community. And the reason I say that is because the community tends to make him a moment about every 2 to 3 years. Now he might be doing great, but what he probably needs to do is just fund it, host it, put his face on it, don't show up. Or show up at the end, say something, be out. Watch from afar, maybe do consultation, one-on-one, security, so people don't go crazy on him. But I think what happens is when he gets in that audience, someone has to try them because they know he will go. Like he's not one not to talk.
He's a competitor.
He's a
He's a
competitor.
competitor.
He's very verbal. He's always been like that. He's always showing off when he was on the field.
He's a showboat
Yeah,
too.
he's always, you know, dabbing, all type of different stuff. So like it's not out of his character to do what he does. The problem is that he has more to lose in these situations than you did on a football field. Everybody got something to lose on a football field. A free bono camp. Only person who's got something to lose is you, Cam. I honestly, I hate it for the
Fact.
community, but like, if he was doing this paid, we'd even have this conversation. If you guys, the same group that showed up to his camp, had to pay, they would not act like this because you would have something to lose because you paid for a service to be there. And maybe that's what needs to change. It doesn't need to be free, it needs to be charged. And then we'll see somebody who actually wants to be there, appreciate his advice, and go a different direction.
But wouldn't that cut a lot of people out that maybe weren't his? Because Cam didn't come up very, he didn't have the greatest upbringing, so he speaks about it all the time.
You don't know how to act. I have something to lose. Do you want me to be back on the same level as you? Keep attacking me. It's going to go wrong for me eventually. You keep going back to the hood, you get shot. You keep going to the fight, you're going to fight. You keep going to the bar, you're going to become an alcoholic, go to DUI. Like if you keep doing something, eventually it's going to bite you in the butt. This one didn't. The last one didn't. The other ones didn't. Didn't cost them any money. The next one might. He's got other things going on. Focus on your podcast. Focus on your new media. Focus on your hats. Focus on. He's got so many other business. He got so much other business going on. And I know bad publicity is just as good as good publicity in this day and age. But we're talking about kids. Like if this would have been kids,
Hmm.
Cam was almost getting canceled at this point. Like unfortunately it's coaches. So I think he has too much to lose. I think maybe it needs to be a smaller venue. Maybe that's too many
Mm.
people. And then another thing is maybe some of the people need to pay to get your services because they don't respect it freely.
Mm. I can't disagree with that.
I mean, I'm just saying, like, I mean, let's be real. We wouldn't even know about this camp if Cam wasn't hosting it.
True.
Nobody else was there. I'm sure somebody else was there, but nobody else was there.
So, do you think Cam is going to stop? Do you think he's going to stop or no? I don't think he will. I think he's going to be like, I don't care. I'm going to keep doing what I do.
I,
Especially if you just tossed three guys off of him. You know what I mean? Like, he just tossed three dudes like it was nothing.
for lack of, you know what though, I think that in this day and age, that incites the next three guys to get a fourth guy or a fifth guy or a sixth guy, or we punched Cam in the face, or we
Mm,
took Cam's chain, or we took that stupid hat off his head. Like
mm.
that it incites the challenge. Honestly, at this
See,
point,
so it's jealousy then.
unfortunately, it's not even jealousy. You know what it is? It's the new drug called clout and fame.
Mm,
Regardless if that's 15 minutes in the wrong direction or 15 seconds in the wrong direction or 15 seconds in the right direction, people are addicted to fame. They don't care if it went good or went bad for them. Like the four coaches are now on a interviewing campaign. They're interviewing, oh, we're sorry, we apologize to Cam and all this other stuff. Because now they're in 15 seconds of fame. I don't care nothing about these coaches. I don't hear none of their interviews, nothing they got to say. You guys look terrible. But your initial point brings me to a show I recently watched, which is the Vince
okay.
Staples show on Netflix.
Yeah, you keep saying that.
Oh my god. Okay, so first off, the Vince Staples show, it's a comedy, but it's got undertone um subliminal messages. So like for instance, Vince Staples is probably like a C-list rapper on the West Coast, right? He has some hot stuff. Like he can flow, he raps good, like he's not a bad rapper. But he realized that okay, I'm never going to be Drake and I don't want to be washed. So what's my next venue? So he got into acting. He's been on Abbott Elementary. He dated the main character of Abbott Elementary for a little bit. He is the other main character's best friend, which causes a love triangle conflict for a little bit. It's not that it's not he's not there very long. He's done some other guest appearances on stuff. He did the Acura commercial. He's been on Insecure. Um, so he's sprinkled a little bit of his acting capability. So now he's dabbling in acting. This is probably like what people compare it to is the West Coast Atlanta. I don't know if you've seen the show Atlanta.
Yes.
Atlanta's
Yes.
fire. So it's a West Coast Atlanta.
Okay.
Vince Staples starts off going to jail for unpaid parking tickets. His mom, he's said in interviews, is different. She's a little bit more ratchet than most. And so he has a conversation with his mom in jail. And she goes, "Ooh, I like jail." He goes, "I don't. Can you come get me?" She's like, "No, because you didn't come get me last time. And I got something to do." So his mom doesn't come get him out of jail. This dude is singing to him because he recognizes. He goes, "Yo, you Vince Staples. Yo, you got to hear me spit something." Dude's all in his ear. He's like, "Bruh, I'm just trying to like get through jail." Another dude that knows he's from a different block from him, out of California, big gang stuff, tries to threaten his life. He says, "Yo, as soon as these bars open, we get on Gin Pop, I'm killing you straight off the grid." He has a shank and everything. The police know who he is. They start rapping his songs, and they call him in, like show him out on camera, like go through all the videos and everything, then put him back in the cell. Like it's just a wild spot. And so some of the subliminal messages are like he's in the theme park with his girlfriend, and like the theme park mascot has a problem with him, like he's staring at him, and Vin's like, "What's up with that dude? Like something's wrong here." Um, One of the ones was the black guy at the theme park wouldn't give him any food, but the white guy would give him some food, but he taxed it higher, and nobody was in line. But you got something, but you didn't get everything, and he charged for everything. And so it's
Sounds
kind
like
of
Shogun.
no, 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 no. He was talking about the record label, to where you think you got a song, you produced a song by yourself, you did everything, but now everybody wants a little piece of it, and so that was one of
Mm.
them. They had a bank episode where my favorite part was the last part. He goes to the bank and he asks the teller, he's like, "Yo, can I get a loan?" The banker's like, "No, you can't get a loan. Nobody wants that. Like we're not doing any of that." And so at the end, the bank gets robbed, and Vince is like, "Yo, I know the robbers. I can get you out of here alive." He's like, "Please keep me out of here alive." He's like, "Cool, I'll get you out of here alive." And so at the end, Vince negotiated him to get him out. He gets him out, and the guy is fummaging around while the police are like, "Put your hands up." Vince goes, "I wouldn't do that." And the guy's like, "What?" And he's still messing around and gets shot in the head at the very end. And so now he doesn't get the loan. Dude got out, but he died at his own volition because he didn't realize. And it's just a lot of subliminal messaging in the show about how kind of the West Coast subliminal message, music label subliminal message, black subliminal messaging, and then like the mistreatment of like funds and like what's worth and what's not. And so it's a really good show. It's a short watch. You could probably get done with this in 2.5 hours, if that.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it's short. I think none of his episodes are more than 30 minutes. They only five
Okay.
episodes, so
Okay. All
it's a
right.
good show.
It- This
I'm
is on Netflix.
It's on Netflix, and I'm waiting for the next five because it's a limited series because they're trying to see what it was. He and so I watched the interview with
It's
him.
got 4.6 reviews, so it's like a lot of high. They're saying it's hilarious. It's funny.
Yeah,
Wish the episodes were longer. I'm
yeah,
like read through the episodes.
yeah. It's a quick watch. And Vince said this is the trick. Basically without saying it subliminally on the Breakfast Club, he said this is the tricks black creators have to play. I wrote everything. I wrote this whole script. I wrote all these subliminal messages. I directed. I picked every cast member.
Mm,
I depicted my mom. I depicted myself. I depicted my girlfriend. I depicted my family. I exposed myself. I opened up to the world. And because it's so good, I have to do it in short form before I get a shot in white media.
mm,
So now I have to have 5 episodes, less than 30 minutes, in this limited series until it gets traction to say, now I need 5 more episodes, an hour long, until I get a season two where I got 10 episodes, an hour long, and it's season two, season three, season four. I have to do what I have to do in short form because I'm a black creator and black thinker to get on, but you guys have to support me until they see that I'm valuable. And that's the subliminal message of the whole show, really. That's really the bank episode, but like this is and shout out to Netflix and shout out to him for taking risks. He has some explanation as to why the budget was this and that and this, and he shoots Netflix and some of the situation some bail. But the real point of it is that I have to jump through all these hoops to get to the next stage. But it's a good watch. Definitely support Vince Staples. He's funny. Um,
that's what's up.
he's it's a good watch. Yeah, it's a good watch.
Yeah, like him, Donald Glover. Did you see Mr. and Mrs. Smith yet?
Yo, I'm not gonna front. I had a bad week in television, so I don't know if Donald Glover's alive. What happened that week? Somebody else. Oh, I was watching Suits, and Rachel getting Mike at the time. I'm in season two. Mike is messing around on Rachel, playing with my heart because Rachel, gosh, you fine. Megan, I didn't realize. Yo, real talk. I didn't realize that was Megan Marco, dog. I didn't realize that was
You didn't
Rachel.
realize that?
No, I didn't think who Megan Marco was. I didn't know. I never watched a single episode of Suits until maybe 2 weeks ago. I have
Yeah,
never watched.
that's how she got recognized.
Listen, Okay, so for a long time, it's been Beyonce, it's been Laura London, it's been Megan Fox post surgery before, like Transformers Megan Fox, not after.
All
Okay,
right.
all right. Megan Megan Marco,
Megan Markle's in there now.
Beyonce, Laura London, Megan Marco.
I'm not a big Beyonce fan. I ain't gonna
I'm
lie.
gonna tell you what it is, dog. I'm gonna tell you what
What
it
is
is.
it about her?
Destiny's Child, and then just to see her from now, like I'm not gonna front. I just always been a fan. I just always been a fan. Not gonna front. Beyonce just too fine for me. She's always been fine for me. Listen, 40, 30,
She's
20,
beautiful, but
teenager Beyonce, all of them just fine. Like I just think she's just been fine for a very long time. Laura
she's
London, ATL. Oh my god, yes. And
see
now
you're
and
giving
now
people
Meghan
that were in
Markle.
their moment. Like we gotta start. Like what about Halle Berry? She's been fine the whole time.
But she's been crazy the whole time.
They all crazy, bro.
Nah, 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 nah.
Beyonce crazy.
Okay, so what? Yeah. No, her sister crazy. No,
No, Beyonce crazy too,
I
bro.
don't think so.
She start stuff is coming out, man.
It could come out. I'm fine with that. Listen. I'm still.
Nah, nah, shout out to Beyonce, mad talented. Probably should have a best. What she hasn't won best album.
No, but have you heard this country? Have you heard these country songs yet?
I have not, but it's a lot of
It's a
convert
lot of buzz around the country songs. So I was going to listen to them, but I just keep getting caught up, and it's just not.
people saying it's not country, and this is like she's perverting country music. That's what they're saying.
So
I have to listen to myself. I'm gonna listen.
so
We should
we
listen. We're gonna listen to that next
okay.
week.
Bet. We'll come back to that. So Beyonce is perverting country music, but nobody listened to the words of Old Town Road by Lil Nas X. Got it, country music. Got it.
True.
Got it. Uh,
Whatever happened to him?
I don't want to know what happened to him.
He's too busy having
I
babies.
don't want to ever know what happened to Lil Nas X.
He was way left. Like way.
I mean he's still relevant. He's got mad videos out right now. Like he's still producing stuff. He's still in advertisements. He's very relevant, but I have that's not my bag.
Okay.
I'm too old for that.
He's been gone for like he hasn't been really
He's not gone.
relevant for about 2 or 3 years.
Justin, he's not gone.
Really?
No.
I haven't heard
No.
anything from him.
He's not gone at all. No. No. Now,
Little Nas
now,
X.
if you say he's gone, he's gone. He's gone up. Like he's through the roof. He's a mega star, but he's very relevant. Still very relevant. No. Yeah, no.
So what's his MO? Is he like
I don't
what's
again, Justin, that is not who I want to talk about ever. We talk about Meghan Markle, Beyonce, Laura London, and you want to talk about Lil Nas X? I don't ever want to talk about this Lil Nas X. Never. Never. They listen, that's totally two different conversations. I never want to talk about that. Oh my goodness. Oh man.
Montero Lamar Hill? That's his name.
Yeah, good for him. Good for him. Good for him. Nah, but
He's
no,
got hits though. He's got, I guess,
that's what I'm saying. He's still got relevant music. He's still a
Montero,
hit maker.
What I Want, Star Walking, Rodeo,
He's
Holiday, J Christ,
he.
Old Town Road,
I'll be
and the
honest
Street.
with you. In the right crowd, he is the tough verses.
I mean, bef- if you never like, I'll put it this way: before I started, he went a little like too far left. I was like, a couple songs, like, oh, this got a little nice little jingle to it. But then you start listening to the words, and you're like, then you see the video, you're like, this is it's a
No,
little.
I won't say that he doesn't make good music. Everything I think I've heard is never not been decent, but learning more about him, I don't want to listen. This is not my bag.
Is Little Nas X married to Doja Cat?
That makes sense.
He's
No,
not
it
though.
doesn't. But anyway, you wild. Let's watch your stuff on the internet.
I
Yo,
forgot all about him. I forgot he even existed until you said something, man. I forgot all about Lil Nas X.
yeah. So yeah,
But
but
that then again, that I'm showing my age. I don't really listen to that
yeah,
anyway.
yeah.
I drive around now to unless we have something that we pick an album listen to. I drive around in silence or just like to instrumentals,
I need to
like
start. I try. You know, the problem is I need to start driving around, listen to instructions, because I need to be educating myself more while I'm driving around. The
yes, I
problem
gotta
is
do the same thing.
I listen to way too much entertainment. I,
Me too.
I
It's
watch
a
way too much
major
entertainment.
distraction.
Yeah, I'm distracted. I told myself I would stop doing that this year, but I'm not gonna front. I'm doing terrible at it right now.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, but I've been kind of in my head. So good news is we got a contract on the house we built. You know, so hopefully that will sell pretty soon.
It's a
Um,
beautiful house, ladies and gentlemen. Like
thanks,
y- you don't even know.
thanks. Maybe I'll showcase my house
Maybe you
next
should
year.
show some pictures.
Yeah,
It's
maybe I'll
it's
showcase the
absolute
house.
fire. Is it one of? Is it one of?
So yes, because we're gonna do two of the same floor plan, but it's gonna be reversed. So technically, this will be the only house like it is. Yeah, the next one will be reversed, so it's technically different. And that requires a whole nother floor plan. This house was a Gia. The next one will be an Elon, and the one after that will be a Gia, and then another Elon.
So just for did you clear everything? You cleared all the space that you needed to clear already, or
Yes,
only for that one particular house?
all of them are clear. We just gotta like grade the field now. Yeah, it's all
Okay,
clear.
so it's gonna be a little bit easier going forward, or a step less. Would you say a step less?
The initial cost, yes. So like for instance, the roads in, the clearing of the trees are in, the most of the burning is done. So like like all the debris, all everything that would be, only thing that would be in the way is stuff that would be graded. Like I could literally run the skid steer around, grade it, get it flat again, and that stuff would just bury down in the ground, would die off, and then probably grow up again. Like just if you leave a field barren, eventually seeds will land there and something will grow. And so that's where we're at right now, and that's all we got.
Okay,
So
cool.
yeah.
And ladies and gentlemen, like they have this project. It's amazing. So just we'll stay continued with it.
Yeah.
It's awesome. So we'll wait to the end so for it's all to be done. For we'll start talking more about that
If you
maybe.
follow us on TikTok, the house, some of the contracting work and some of the houses on TikTok. The house listing is on Facebook and Instagram, but you got to find it. It's back. It's backing down. But yeah. So like that's kind of been on my mind. The business, like family business, is tough. Like getting into business with your family is tough. That's been on my mind. I think that I have a decision to make that I need to talk to my boss about, but at the same time, like you kind of got to think about it and get it together. And I'm in the process of also trying to buy a house, so it's just like a lot of things going on. But I'm trying to like, it's not checkers, it's chess. So like I'm trying to figure out what moves to make and when we need to, go in the right direction, or who we need to talk to first to make sure we're going in that right direction. And that's kind of like one of the things that's been on my brain that's been distracting me from kind of like focusing on learning something new or some other stuff, because I got so many things in my brain to actually get correct to go into my next phase of like my marriage, my life, my living situation, my business in general, just different stuff. So that's a lot going on, but yeah, just got to get it together. Got to make sure you do it calculated.
That's all right. That's all
Yeah.
right. It's getting done, bro. One brick
Yeah.
at a time.
And I will, it's interesting because, like, I will say this from all the entertainment I've been watching, like, from all the podcasts, one of the big things I've taken away is, like, they say the number one investment should be yourself. And I guess looking back over the past 3 years, as tough as it's been, as hard as it's been on relationships, situation, environment, mental, physical, it started with an investment of myself. I sold
Hmm.
my house in Arizona, got back here, took some of that money, invested in my family company. My family company yielded from that money. I took that money, invested back into another asset, and now the asset just now turned. But that was 3 years ago.
Wow.
So like, you just and you gotta hang in there. Like I mean, and honestly, the yield is not the whole investment, but it's a slight yield. It will get slightly bigger. They get slightly bigger. It's slightly bigger. And like I think it's one of those situations like people always tell you what to invest in and what to do and what this what not. But like I think you should know a little bit about what you're investing in first. Educate yourself first. Get comfortable. Figure out what you're doing. Like I did an internship, I guess, with my dad. I know this sounds crazy. I did an internship with my dad at I guess 37 and 38, right? So I was like, hey, Dad, I'll just come home for the summer. I'll come work for you for a little bit, see what it's like. I've worked for my dad when I was a teenager. You've worked for my dad before. Like we've all worked for my
It's tough.
dad. My dad
It,
always works you. I don't care
it's
anybody. My
tough.
dad will work you. You come over. Hey, what you doing? Hey, why don't you come help me move this thing? He
Go
just
find something for you to
he'll
do for
find
sure.
something for you to do. My mom's same way. Yes. So
Same way.
yeah,
You look a little bored.
yeah. What you doing?
What you
Come,
doing?
come with me. you know.
You've been sitting for 5 minutes.
Right. Come with me. Oh man. So
Oh
like
man.
they'll find something for you to do. But it
Go
was
find
like
something.
yeah, so it was kind of an internship. I figured we could make it work it out. It's tough working with your dad, it's tough working with your family, but at the same time, investing back in my family, investing in myself, having something to invest, you know, educating myself exactly what my family does, doing the grunt work, doing all the little stuff. I'm learning the paperwork side. We'll get more familiar with the paperwork side going forward. And that's like on hand education. Like, I actually took a pay cut doing what I did, lost a lot of money, lost a lot of time.
But you gain
But you
knowledge.
gain knowledge, you gain,
Way more
uh,
valuable.
yeah, like for instance, opportunities like today, like the skidster work, that never would have happened if I didn't invest in myself. I go from making 200 and some dollars a day on Uber to making almost $1,000 a day to skid steer. And it took less time. But you don't have those opportunities if you don't put yourself in those situations and learn the craft. Like I learned skid steering on this job. I learned about the trailers on this job. I started driving diesel 350s on this job. Like, I
Mhm.
prepared myself for this. Like, I mean, I know it sounds crazy, but I put myself in the situation, and now the situation is starting to blossom, starting to put a
And
little water on the seed, it's starting to make leaves. We
yeah,
don't
you
gotta
left Arizona what, like 4 years ago?
left Arizona in 2020 the summer, got here 2 days later because I drive crazy, and
No,
then
you did it pretty right though. I mean, all the timing. If you really think, you're really right at that 5 year. You
if
you haven't really been working for 5 years like a normal 9 to 5 job, right?
I haven't been a W two employee for about 3.5 years. I've been on straight
Yeah,
1099s. Yeah.
there you
So
go.
that's
So
1099 is pretty much you're self employed, right? So I've been,
self-employed, I take care of your own taxes, all that good stuff.
and I'll be honest with you, even though the money can be better at a W two, I will never be a W two employee ever again. It's all 1099 from here on out. I'm only working for myself. I mean, and trust me, it's tougher. It's tough days, and like you got to prove income and just different stuff like that. But I can't go back to listen to people that I think I'm smarter than.
Mm.
And I had good bosses. Like shout out to Roxanne X. They gave me my shot at school. Like I wouldn't have been a teacher if it weren't for those two. Um, Shout out to God, I can't think of her name. I had a nurse that saw potential in me and elevated me at my last psych hospital I worked at. Um, I had good bosses, but their agenda wasn't my agenda. Like I can figure this agenda out. And I don't have all the information they have, but based off the information I know from doing the work, I wouldn't do it their way. So I would do it a different way. That's where I'm at now.
It's pretty good, man.
Yeah, man.
Actually, today, funny story. I actually went back. I visited my old property that I used to run,
Yeah.
Alden Park, right? I went back today. Basically, because one of my coworkers lives there. He actually lives in my old apartment, which,
Oh,
right?
I know you
So
missing that.
long story short, the guy who got me my new opportunity with the solar company and all that, I actually rented him an apartment at this place. And then we had such a good rapport that he actually offered me a job. And then he got me in, and then I had to leave because I couldn't be a resident of the property that I no longer work for anymore. So I was like, yo, I'm gonna take my own apartment. It's a solid 3 bedroom apartment. I'll give you a really good deal on it. Everything's fixed. Everything's great. It's got a view of the city skyline, all that, right? So I hooked them up. Long story short, it's been about 2 years now. So I went back today, and I didn't realize my value until I went back. And then everybody there, like all the tenants, they saw me walk in. Everybody just flocked to me as if I was able to fix their problems. You know what I mean? And I'm like, yo, I'm not here no more. I'm not here. Like, you gotta go talk to one of them. Like, no, nobody's helping here. Because I was that manager that would literally move you in. You know what I mean? I would roll my own sleeves and in my out, in a suit and tie, I would come move you in if I had to. Like whatever it took to make you have the best experience. So I felt very appreciated today because everybody was just like, man, I was just walking around. Everybody was like, oh my God, just what's going on? All the people still there. You know what I mean? 800 people or 200, 2,200 people are still there. Everybody knew me. I was like, wow. So the new manager, she was like, man, like I heard a lot about you. She was like, yo, you ever thought about coming back? And I was like, baby girl,
Nah.
unless you got a two, a five, a zero, comma, zero, zero salary plus bonuses to bring me back. She was like, are you nuts? I was like, that's
That's
what
what
I'm worth.
that's what it takes.
She
And
was like, I don't even make 100. I was like, well, then you see all these people that are reacting to me? They're not reacting to you that way. I'm worth it. You're not.
yeah,
I know how to get the job done. I would know that. I know this building. I know that building so well. There's still no one that knows that building like I do.
yeah,
But I say this: the guy that I did have under me, I was like mentoring. He's now running the show, and finally he's getting his due diligence, which is awesome. So
yeah.
yeah, it's just know your worth and just know where you're appreciated, and try to stick to those things. Like get out of those jobs that are draining your energy. Like it's just not worth the salary. It's not.
To
Get
piggyback
out.
on to piggyback on what you said too about knowing your worth, and but before that, you educated yourself. No one knows that building like you do, right? So that's why you were able to become so valuable because you knew the building so in and out, so through and through that you couldn't be paid for the value you had.
Correct.
Um, just because you know your worth, don't miss opportunities that aren't your total worth. Like prime example, like I do drive Uber to sustain. I can make $1,000 a day, but that opportunity isn't always there. But when it is there, I take advantage of it.
Yeah, it's a
I
bonus.
know that worth versus that worth, but I still have a fallback, and hopefully
Mm-hmm.
eventually the skid steer work becomes second nature. I build relationships, build rapport, do a good job. People recommend, people, word of mouth, and it goes on. And
Yeah, your reputation, your rapport, and your your referral basis, like everything in
yep,
sales. And we were talking about that a little bit earlier, and that's what I'm really good at. I'm really good at building my referral network, just
yep,
knowing people and gaining that trust because I am that guy. And like like solar, like whatever you do for that extra thousand, like that's how real estate is for me, right? Whenever I can sell out, awesome. It's like extra cake on the extra
yep.
icing on the cake. But outside of that, I do a lot for these people, like, especially in the solar business. Like the older ladies that own the house, there's no man around. I always ask, "Can I take your trash out? Is there anything extra I can do? Do you need anything from the store while I'm around?" I always ask that, and they look at me like I'm crazy. Like, wait, what did you just say? Do you need anything from the store? Can I help you around your house? Do you need me to take your trash out? And I get the same response every time. Oh my God, who are you?
That's pretty good. That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
So even if I don't close the deal with them, I always offer that because I just believe, especially in our culture, the Black community, we just got to take care of our elders more. Even though some of them are, may not have anything of value to offer you, right? Like just take care of them because at the end of the day, like everybody else is doing that.
Right,
Everybody else is doing it. White folks doing it, Indian folks, Chinese folks, but us. We're just
right.
watching these people. It's sad seeing, especially in Philadelphia, like so many old heads just lost out here. Lost. I mean, 75, no type of income,
Yeah,
nowhere to sleep.
yeah. It's
Dude,
interesting.
you know how many people out here like that?
Yeah.
I mean, there's like tens of thousands of people in Philadelphia with nowhere to go, no money, no movement, no nothing.
And then you
So we
come down
should look
you
at a little bit more for these people, just a little bit more. I feel like it doesn't take much.
you come down to Charleston, and they keep moving the people that started this out. Like just keep moving further and further out. Like I
Yeah,
was,
gentrification.
I don't see. I don't believe in gentrification. I believe in
It's
change.
real, brother.
Nah, like I
It's
believe in
real
change,
here. I'm telling you.
and that's a good one. Gentrification and change. Like so, for instance, there can't be any change. Nothing can change if you own it.
True. Or no, 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 that's not true.
You know what I
That's not
mean, though. Nothing can drastically change if you own it. Usually,
no. It would probably take 10 to 20 years for them to, which is what Philadelphia does. They have a 10 to 20 year master plan. Like I knew 10 years ago what was going to happen to Kensington before Kensington became what it is, and now
right?
it's about to be a gold mine because they just dropped the property values where all the drugs and all that kind of stuff. Now they're going to be like, all right, now we got that out of the way, and half of them killed themselves off. We're going to buy all this cheap real estate. It's right by the L. It's like it's such good real estate. It's crazy. It's going to be $1 million. It's going to be like,
Yep. All you
and I
guys
missed
need,
that boat. I missed it.
all you guys need is a dog park and some kind of crazy attraction, and you're right there.
That's
That's all
it.
they do. They throw up a dog park. They throw up a little park. They do some architectural features around there. Then
Taxes go up.
all the houses start looking the same. They have an HOA.
That's it. And
That's
they
it.
know a lot of people on fixed incomes in Philadelphia, right? They got Social Security and maybe a pension. That's it. And that ain't
Yep.
enough to even pay the taxes.
Yeah.
Where they at. So, and then it's a crazy game, but
Yeah,
it is
man.
what it is.
Yeah, man.
Play the game or the game will play.
You. 100%. 100%. Yeah, man. So
Okay.
Go.
Wait. You want to talk sports? You ready?
No, no, go what you gonna say. Go ahead. Lead it
Oh,
up.
no. I'll wait for the sports. I'll wait for the sports. So I'm
Okay.
coming for you.
So Milwaukee has won the last 4 games that they've played. Look at Doc. Look at Glenn.
I need you to eat your words, man.
No, 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 no. I'm not eating my words.
I
Oh.
told you 20 games, bro. 20 games.
Have you seen their schedule for the next 20 games, bro? Glenn
What
ain't
about?
that
All right,
good.
we'll look at it. Let's look at it. Let's see.
Now listen, they beat the Hornets. They got them back to back. So like, I did not expect that, but they won the last 4 games they played. Um, they're looking a little better on paper. Um, I think they have a tougher schedule in the West, and I think those games will be crucial. I still don't see Doc having over 500 this for his tenure, and we'll find out.
They're definitely going to finish over 500. Are
Yeah.
you seeing the way Dame and Giannis are playing together right now?
Well, one thing you did say is that after All Star game, it will count more, but that doesn't mean it won't count more for other people. So I'm curious to see if they can sustain. Like 4 games is strong. Don't get me wrong, strong, but 2 of those are against the Hornets, and I mean, who cares? One was against another weaker team too. Like I think they played the Hornets like this since Doc. I think they played the Hornets 3 times. So
See, they're playing the Hornets right now. So they played them. They played them 2 nights ago.
right
They
and
beat
one.
them 123-85.
It's the
That's
horn.
like,
It's the Hornets, man. It's the
and then they're
Hornets.
playing them again tonight. It's 92-47-74 right now in the third quarter.
It's the
They play
Hornets.
Chicago next, and then March 4th is the first real. So all right, let's go like this. The
That's what I'm
first
saying.
real test is going to be the Clippers on March 4th. Then they play Golden State March 6th. Then they play the Lakers March 8th. Then they play the Clippers again. Then they play the Sac. So yeah,
It's all about the
we'll
West
say
Coast. And
the next 10 days.
they wouldn't have beat y'all the way they were playing prior to Embiid getting hurt. If Embiid would have been up, they wouldn't have got hurt. I said all that prior to Embiid being hurt. No, maybe I didn't.
Okay,
Maybe I didn't. Maybe I
no,
take that
he's
back.
hurt.
I take that back. I take that back. They wouldn't have beat the Sixers if Embiid was hurt. They had one more game that I was surprised with. Who they played before the Sixers?
Let me go back. Hold on. They played. Oh, it doesn't tell me. Ooh, I gotta pull up the whole schedule, but
Uh,
I'll find it. Hold on,
yeah,
but keep going.
but like so, I mean, and I was looking at it like, but like playing, I think the way until they get on that West Coast, it was a gas schedule. Like this wasn't a hard schedule. Like these next 4 games, they weren't hard. I'm not surprised they're 4-0 after the All Star break right now. Maybe potentially 5-0 after tonight. But when you get to the West Coast, they're going to lose all 5 of those games right back.
Okay, so they beat the Minnesota. All right,
They
so
beat the
right
Minnesota.
before
That
the
was the
Sixers,
one.
they played Timberwolves. They beat them.
I was surprised they lost to this, they beat the Timberwolves. That was a shock. I thought they were going to lose that game. I did. I did.
They blew out the Sixers. They blew out the Charlotte Hornets. They're blowing the
That's
Charlotte
Charlotte Hornets.
Hornets right now.
Right.
So they had the perfect intro back into the season where all right, Dame finally got in his rhythm. They go play Minnesota. Cool. Wipe the Sixers out because now the next
Right.
4 games are pretty easy. Get some rhythm. Now
Yeah.
they're gonna play the Clippers.
Yeah. The Clippers are
On
coming off a
four.
loss, so like I think the Clippers are going to beat
Right.
them. And they shouldn't have lost that game, but LeBron is just LeBron still.
So as of right now, let's just hold on, we'll pull the standings up. The Sixers are dropping. Sixers are going to be a play-in team.
Yeah. They're third right now. They're 1.5 games above New York, maybe two. New York must have lost a couple games. I'm surprised. Um, but them beat the big one out of that 4 that they won is the Minnesota. I was surprised they beat Minnesota. I don't know if they were just having an off night, but Cat and what's the other guy? What's the guard? Anthony Edwards. Anthony Edwards got to get it together. Like they have it together, but they just got to put it together in
To
series.
me,
But
Anthony Edwards, he's got everything, and I love Anthony Edwards. I just wish he was just a little bit more aggressive.
What I was,
Like,
what I would say is that them
I don't know.
losing to Milwaukee like this, when they're the number one seed in the West and going pretty strong, this is what scares you with them going to the playoffs. Like, how far are they really going to get in a seven series because you're losing games you should be definitely winning? Like,
I think there's some mental. They have some mental, or like, I think mental toughness for the Timberwolves is a little bit of a scare for me.
I
Like
think
when they,
I think
yeah, go ahead.
Cat's soft.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, I think Cat's soft. I think Cat is just a better D. Uh, not
He's a
D.
stretch four.
No,
He's just
no,
a.
no, no. He's just a better AD from Phoenix, who went to Portland. The center, dark skinned dude, used to play with Book and CP3. What's isn't it AD or is it who was the power forward for the Phoenix Suns when they went to the chip? Who was the power forward? Remember you want before Booker got there, it was his team. Then Book got there, Book took over the team, and then CP3 got there, and then he just got put to third. Like it just was Book's team, and then they went to the chip, and then
You're not talking about Aton.
what's his it's AD right though, and that his initials.
Um, Phoenix. Hold on.
Yeah.
Suns NBA Finals roster 2021. They played the Bucks that year, right?
Yep. Bucks won.
DeAndre Ayton, you're talking
DeAndre
about.
Ayton. Yeah. So D A
Oh man, I can't disrespect Cat like that.
D A. No, no, no. Seriously, DeAndre Ayton when he first got to the Phoenix Suns was balling. Booker got there, CP3 got there, he fell off. Like I think, okay, that's the type of temperament I feel like he has. I feel like Cat is like soft like that. Like he doesn't want to do physical. He wants to shoot the three. Cat should be beasting people, man. He should put a little weight on and go to the hole more. Now he can shoot. I won't take anything away from him, but he's just a tad bit soft. Like he's soft and just like Da, he was soft, and that's why Phoenix lost that series to Milwaukee because he settled for his 15 points and 10 rebounds like he normally gets versus going 25 like he needed to because he's soft. He got put,
So his best year was 2019, which is the year before they went to the finals.
and he had
He
what?
averaged 18 points a game. He shot 54% from the field. He averaged 11 and a half rebounds a game
He
and
just
1.5 blocks.
he
So he had
just
a good season then.
yeah he's just not like
He's another one.
yeah he's just not tough. Like and I think honestly I think Cat will get exposed like that like in the playoffs. I really do. I really do. I,
Let me look up Cat real quick. 'Cause
Cat
he's like,
Cat has significantly better stats than that. I will say that off the rip. Like I just know. Like I think he's probably beaten him by at least 5 to 10 points in certain seasons. Cat's all right in the NBA.
we think his average is
23 points.
Carl Anthony Towns, right?
Yeah,
Carl Anthony Towns. Carl with a K.
probably wears sweaters when he's home by himself.
This is what I think about Cat. I think he's probably like an amazing like person, like off the court, but on the court, I think he talks a little bit too much for like what his worth is.
His
That's
personality doesn't translate for his talent. Like he should be more of a killer, and he's just not. He's not a killer. He's a nice
well,
guy, like you said.
he can't really post up nobody either. Like it's something about his legs. It's like he don't know bottom.
He
He don't got no
could,
leg
but
strength or something.
I think he's light in the butt. Like I'll be honest with you, like when you're tender and can shoot that three as tall as he is, you can't put all that weight on because as soon as you throw weight on, your shot goes away, right? So like so for instance, if I'm throwing the ball and it goes what 27 feet, right, and it goes that naturally, right? So if now I'm starting to lift 30 pounds, now naturally that ball goes 30 feet. I have to adjust for that. Like I have to change up something to adjust for how much stronger I got. But he naturally has a natural 20, 27, 28 foot jumper. I never had that. My jumper was always inside, but at the same time, I go bang with you. I don't care about the physicality. You know, like another thing too is these shooters. If you touch them, it throws their shot off, right? Like if you really touch them, if you really bump them, if you really get in their face, like that's why they have no hand check prior to outside of the paint because it throws off the offense. Like you want to know why 90s and you want to know what 90s and 80s basketball was? You can hand check the whole court. You can hand check from inbound all the way down. Now,
Hmm.
the first person in my brain, I'm sure it's others, but the first person to break that would be Kobe and Jordan. Jordan would be one to break that, but it wasn't as frequent with Jordan as it was with Kobe. Kobe didn't care how much you hand checked him. He's shooting with he learned how to shoot through physical touch. Now we've gone back to the shooter. There's no hand checking, and the physical touch part of that, like releasing that shot, is more elegant. It's more so with Cat going to the hole. Maybe he figured out I can score more points from my jumper in the arc than I can down in the paint, and it throws off my shot in the arc.
So looking at his stats, and this is just numbers again. The eye test is something different, right? Because the stats, you look at his stats, it's
He's
kind of
he's he's a
he's
he's a beast.
yeah, he's averaged over 20 points his entire career. He's shot in over 50%, almost like 55% his whole career. And then his 3 pointers, he shoots the ball really well. So I mean, he's averaging for a big man, he's shooting like what 43% this year from
Yeah.
three.
What's his rebounds like?
8.5, anywhere from 12 to 8.5. So this is a down year, and he's only getting 8.5 as rebounds.
So
That's
it really wasn't that bad of a comparison for Da if you think about it. So we're off about he said 20 points, Da was 15 points. You talk about 8 rebounds, Da was 11 rebounds. Da had more blocks, but he doesn't have any 3 pointers. Who's Cat blocking? Cat's
Cat averages about 1 block a game,
okay. So the other guy was averaging about 3 blocks a game, right?
1.5.
Okay, so block and a half. So a little more defense. You're getting more defense versus the offense out of the one, but their mentalities. You see what I'm saying? That's what my comparison was. The mentality of like that killer instinct, like
I think Cat's got the killer. I just don't think. I think he. I think Cat's got the killer in him. I do. I just don't think
I
he's
think
got
Anthony
the.
Edward has a killer in him. I don't think Cat does. I think Anthony's the killer on that team, man. It's just it's a matter of time before Ant takes over that team.
Okay, Anthony Edwards to me maybe as far as to the media, he isn't really like the big bark guy. He's kind of like quiet, kind of chill. You know what I mean? I
He's
won't get you on the
smooth.
court.
He's
And
smooth.
then Cat is more like, "Well, I'm the best. Well, what about me? Hey, I can shoot." Yeah, he's always looking for like, "Well, what about me?" He's always feeling to me like forgotten.
Who would you build your franchise behind, Cat or Anthony Edwards?
Anthony Edwards.
Hands down, right? That's
Come
that's
on, Anthony
that's
Edwards.
not a hard. That's not even a hard decision, right?
That's not even a question.
Right. It's not even a hard decision. So
Carl is a
back to your C list markets. Minnesota Timberwolves C list market.
yes.
Not even a it's not even a C minus market. Prior to
See, Cat would be really good on like Golden State.
Cat would be perfect for Golden State right now. Anthony
That's
Edwards.
what they need. They need him. They need a guy that can pass the ball, get shoot the three, stretch the floor, and then still bang inside into it,
And
get
they need some
rebound.
height. They need some height. So he would be good there. The problem is, Cat feels like the Timberwolves are his team. Anthony Edwards doesn't take over like it's his team. Where you say you feel like he's a little passive. It's Cat's team because he was there first. But Anthony Edwards should be the face of that team. It should be Anthony Edwards. It should be Cat should be the secondary. He should be the second option. Anthony Edwards should be the first option. It would actually allow Cat to score more points if he was more of a post up player, and it would improve his rebounding. But if I was
Anthony
an organization, I would build the team around Anthony Edwards before Cat any day. Any yeah.
Let me see. He's 6'4", 225 pounds. He's like an NBA body. But all right, let's see. Look. Let's look at his stats now. Like we're going to talk, and he's only 22. You know what I'm saying? So keep in mind,
He's
he's
still
only
on his
22.
is he still on his rookie contract?
Yeah, it's only
Yeah,
his third year, so
yeah.
he's about to get his max this year.
He's out of there. I think
He's
if
not out of there.
I think if I think if the right
Mm.
team, Anthony Edwards, he's too smooth, dog.
No, 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 no.
I think he thinks he's all right. I'm gonna be honest with you. From my opinion of Anthony Edwards, the interview I just saw with him recently with the lady, I think he thinks he's. I think he's not, to lack of better words, say full of himself. I think he's still smelling himself. Like, and I think if you smell yourself, I'm getting out of Minnesota so I go smell myself with some better
No, no,
smelling
no.
people. Dude,
You
man.
don't leave Minnesota. Look. This is why you don't leave Minnesota. Number one, no one else is going to be able to pay you the bag. Number two, everybody's going to want to play with this guy. Like everybody wants to play with Anthony Edwards. Believe me. Cat's going to come off the books, and then they got to do something with Rudy Gobert. He's only 22. When did Michael Jordan win his first
Can I
championship?
can, can I ask you something?
What?
Why do you think nobody can pay him?
No one can pay him more than the Timberwolves. No one can offer him a supermax. That's the way the NBA is constructed.
Prove that.
What do you mean prove it? That's why the supermax are no one can offer him a supermax other than the Timberwolves. It's to
Okay.
protect the lottery picks.
Okay. All right. All right. All right. I
He
got
can
what
get
you're
a
saying.
max deal somewhere else, but he's probably going to lose like 50 million going
If
somewhere.
it meant a ring and getting out of Minnesota, I probably would go.
But he can get a ring in Minnesota, assuming he still ascends, right? Because Chicago Bulls, let's keep it real. Were the Chicago Bulls a marquee market before Michael Jordan?
You'd rather went to Chicago before you went to Minnesota.
But what I'm saying is, if Michael Jordan went to Minnesota instead, that's like if he was drafted by Charlotte, and then Charlotte becomes a six championship team or whatever, or six they win six in a row,
Mm-hmm.
whatever, right? They're going to become a marquee market. So I think Anthony Edwards has a talent to turn Minnesota into that. It's just that the Cat and Rudy Gobert experiment, this is the last year of it. Is it going to work or isn't it going to work? If it doesn't work, they're going to make some adjustments, but people are going to want to play with a young. He's only 22,
Yeah.
Anthony Edwards.
And he's explosive. Like I feel
He
what you're
can
saying.
shoot. Look, he's averaging 26.6 right now. He's shooting 47%. He's shooting almost 40% from three.
But that's why it should be his team, not Anthony Edwards, because
Five assists, about five rebounds. He gets
he is
he's
the
getting
more franchise player. Like I just think like he is.
all right, put it this way, D. All right.
Cat is the more rare talent. Anthony Edwards is the more typical talent. Anthony Edwards just seems to be more talented at the time.
Okay. Put it this way. A team drafts you.
Okay.
You're the man, right? You've been there 9 seasons.
Okay.
They bring different things and they ain't working. I get drafted. I'm this young buck. Clearly, I'm the better talent, but there's still like you. And Carl Anthony Towns got a big ego, right? From New
Right.
York, big ego, or New Jersey rather, big ego. You don't think there'll be a conflict there by Anthony Edwards coming in like this is my team? Because it happened with Jimmy Butler.
Yeah. I mean, I can see that.
It happened with Jimmy Butler, right?
Yeah.
That's why they had to get Jimmy out of there. It was just like, yo, this is my team. Y'all
What a
think y'all can do without me?
what a mistake.
What a mistake. And
Yeah.
speaking of Jimmy Butler, the Miami Heat, once again, at the right time, clicking on all
Yeah.
cylinders.
Well, it's playoff time. Realistically, it's prep for playoff time in basketball, which is nice. So the games are going to get better. Competition's going to get better. We're actually going to see, like you said, you're going to see some more gel. I still feel like that
It's going to be Boston and Denver, and Celtics win it this year. I hate to say
prior
that,
to injury, yes. I'll be honest with you. Everything Tatum is saying in the news just doesn't make me feel that way, though.
but we mean
Tatum doesn't Tatum doesn't feel like he is that person to win a championship. Now, should he? Yeah, Boston has thrown every bit of the money they can at him. He's got, you know,
I just
I think he's unbelievable talent. I don't know. Something about Tatum just doesn't rub me right, and
really
it might be the good hair.
he too light skinned for you.
He got some good hair, doesn't he? He got some good hair. It might be the good hair. I'm jealous, but no, but I don't know something about and maybe it's Boston. I've never been a fan of Boston, but I don't see him winning a chip.
Really?
I don't. I agree with what you're saying. I think it's Boston and Denver. I just don't see him winning a chip.
What? How many years do you think he's been in the league?
4.
6 years.
Good for him.
How many times do you think he's been?
He's been in the
I
playoffs
think
every year he's been in, right?
every year he's been in the
Yeah,
league. I think he's been to the Eastern Conference Finals
or the finals.
or the finals almost
Hmm.
every year of his career,
Yeah,
right? I think one time they got bounced out early.
yeah.
But
I think I'm saying if Denver gets hurt, he wins it. Boston's probably the
I don't know,
best.
man. I think Boston fully stacked beat still gets in a 7 game series.
It's tough to.
They're gonna be hard to beat.
Only reason I say that is because okay, out of the whole Boston roster and out of the whole Denver roster, the biggest name out of both those rosters for me is Jokic, and the reason that is because we've seen Jokic just do what he wants in basketball. Like on that court, Jokic does whatever he wants. If Jokic needs to score 30, he just went. He just had a triple double with 100% scoring, dog. Like he just did that the other day. He just went, I think, 21, 10, and 10 with 100% scoring. He didn't miss a bucket. Jokic just did that. He just did that.
What game was that?
The last one he just played.
Hmm, pretty good.
That's crazy. Like, first off, to get a triple double is crazy. It's hard to get a triple double. I don't care what anybody says. Okay, you can say 20, 10, 10. You can say three tens is no big deal. 10 assists for a center. Okay, that's nuts. Usually people are passing it to you, at least the way basketball used to be played. Okay, second off, 10 rebounds. Okay, center's supposed to get 10 rebounds. Cool. 21 points. 21 points ain't that big of a deal. Perfect scoring.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
Oh wait, no, no, no. He was 5 of 9
Maybe it was a game
last
before.
game before that.
Yeah, he had 100%. He had 100% game. I just saw it on Instagram. He's a
Hmm.
he's.
No, no, no. Yo, Jokic is no joke, bro.
I
No,
don't see anybody on Boston do anything with him.
I don't think you have to though.
I think Tatum gives you 3.5 games. I think was Jalen Brown was it? What's
He
his?
get you a game.
I think Jalen Brown gives you 3.5 games. I feel like Jokic gives you 7 games. That's the difference. Like you can, and if it, that's what I'm saying. Like Boston can go and blow out Denver by 40 points, no problem. Game one, Boston can go beat Denver by 10 points. Game two, no problem. But can they beat them again in the next 4 games? And I
Huh.
don't think Denver is that team that's going to be like, nah, you can't beat us 7 games. You can beat us 2 games, but you can't beat us in seven. And like that's the difference. Like I think Boston, like Boston, the year they played the finals, who they play? Um, who beat them? Wasn't it the Warriors? Didn't the Warriors in the finals? Did they first game they blew them out by like 30 points or something like that?
Blew out who?
Didn't Boston play the Warriors the last time the Warriors won the chip? Who did
Yeah.
Boston? Okay, they beat the brakes out of them like game one or two. It was, I mean, it was embarrassing. And then after that, Golden State just turned
Yes.
turn,
Yes. Boston came out the gates and yeah, 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 yeah,
and
yeah.
that's Boston. They will go blow. Boston's probably gonna be the first team to score 200 points in a regular season game, but that's it. They're it's a one shot. It's a shotgun. It's bow. But guess what? I got a 15 clips. Like like and that's the difference between it. They're really explosive. Like beat. They will come bust your tail. Great, but can you bust my tail 4 times? I don't think so. I think you can do it 3.5. I think you can push a game seven, but you're gonna fold. I just don't think Tatum has that. I think Jokic does. I think Curry has it. I think LeBron has learned it. I think LeBron will get you. I think Jimmy Butler has it. I don't think he has the cast for it, but I think Jimmy Butler has it. I just don't think Tatum or Jalen Brown have it. I think they're three
All
and a
right.
half.
I'm gonna go over like season leaders and this is over as a team, right? So points per game. Boston is the fifth team at 120 points a game. Denver's not in the top five. Rebounds per game. Boston's number one. Denver's also now on that list, right?
Right.
And we go to assist. Denver's number five at 29 a game. Blocks per game. Boston's number two at
I want I
6.2.
want I want to completely pause your argument, and this is why I just don't think like stats are cool, but in the game is different. Let's be real. For the past let's just go 4 years. So
But
2000.
before your point, I want to rerun stat that does really matter,
Go ahead.
right?
Go ahead.
The Boston Celtics are the number one team with 3 pointers made at 936, right? The next team is the Dallas Mavericks at 888. That's so many points ahead.
But I think that
So
tells you.
that alone, and they play faster than Denver, right? So they're gonna have more possessions. This is what I'm talking about. They will run Denver off the court in a 7 game
I
series.
don't think so because I think you're
I
missing out. I think
definitely
I think you're missing something that's really, 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 really important to this argument.
what's that?
The West has been better than the East in NBA for so long.
Maybe
The
overall, but not the
West,
top
the
three
West,
teams.
the West competition, the top 8 teams from the West are always better than the top 8 teams from the East.
I don't agree with that.
I do. I do. Oh, okay, okay. I'll even give you Embiid this year. Who is better than the top 8 teams? Like who? New York could not handle if you put the Knicks in the Western market right now, they would not be where they are. It's because it's
Not
the
true.
East. The two
Not
worst
true.
the two worst teams in basketball are where?
The two worst teams in basketball. Let me pull it up.
Charlotte
It's
Hornets
close.
and the Pistons.
Hold on, I'll tell you. The two
Pistons
worst
is the
the
worst.
two worst teams in
The
basketball
Wizards,
are Detroit and Washington.
Wizards, Washington, Charlotte. Right?
Charlotte is it would be Detroit, Washington, the Spurs, Portland, and then the Charlotte Hornets.
Okay.
Mhm.
I'm just in my opinion, it's just so it's the East is much softer. Like you talking about,
Really?
okay, yeah, man, yeah, yeah. The West is based around the way
All right, so
the West is based around height. The West has
that's,
always been based around the center. They've always been a
which,
power forward center based teams.
all right.
Uh,
We'll do it like this. We'll take the top 10 currently, top 10 on each side. We'll just go one for one. Ready? All right, here we go. Boston number one on the East, Minnesota number one on the West. Who wins that matchup? 7 game series.
I'm gonna go Boston for that one.
Okay. The Cavs versus the the Thunder.
I'm gonna go Thunders for that one.
Me too. Three is the Denver Nuggets versus the Milwaukee Bucks, which would be an awesome matchup. Milwaukee
I,
matches
I'm I'm
perfect
going
against them.
Denver. I'm going Denver.
You're going Denver there.
Yeah, that's the toughest one so far.
I think that's a toss up
I think that's the toughest. I know what I'm saying. That's I think the toughest matchup you said so far.
because
Yeah,
they got Lopez, they got Giannis, they got guys that can guard Jokic.
it's a tough out, but like outside of Giannis, well, no, that's not true. So yeah,
They got Dame,
that's the
they got
tough
Chris Middleton.
that's the toughest matchup. That's the toughest matchup. You know what though? You know what though?
I'm gonna go
Okay,
Bucks
no, no,
there.
no. You know who's not on the court that would make a more difference? Okay, Game 7. Who you got now?
Milwaukee Bucks
With Glenn leading the helm?
with Dame and Giannis.
Yo, man, you a hypocrite.
I'm not a
You
hypocrite.
just said last week that if it goes to a Game 7, Glenn is going to lose the playoff for you. Denver
You're right.
forces a
You're
Game
right.
Seven. It's
You're
going
right.
Denver. Denver's coach is way better than Doc. Come on, man. Come on.
Okay. All right. All right. All right.
That's the
So
difference in
LA
that game right
Clippers,
there. Player for
LA.
player, I agree with you, but no. Go ahead.
All right. LA Clippers and Knicks.
That's a pretty
Toss
good
up.
matchup too. I'm gonna go. I'm
Toss.
gonna go. I'm gonna go because of the roster the Clippers have. I think I'm gonna go Clippers, but I'm not gonna front. I'm not. That's not an easy win.
I think Jalen Brunson and them guys.
They're clicking. They're clicking.
I think they beat the. I think they see. To me, the Knicks are more of a paint scoring team. They score
Yeah.
inside and then they can shoot a little bit, and then they can shoot. The Clippers, if they're not hitting the three, they're not.
Do I have a healthy Kawhi Leonard?
Yes. You
Clippers.
on Clips?
Yeah, man. Kawhi's another one of those guys that, believe it or not, if he gets there, he's gonna win it.
Okay. So
If
you're
he
saying Clips
if
there?
he gets there, he's gonna win it.
So,
Kawhi will win. Will you win? He took the
so,
Raptors to the championship, dog.
but
I
that
mean,
wasn't a bad team.
He took him though. That's what I'm saying.
It
He
wasn't a
he
bad
he
team
he
though.
took him. It wasn't the win at the finals. It was the Eastern Conference Finals. That's really what it was. Like, come on, man. Like, okay, the Warriors got banged up and lost. Fine. If the Warriors were healthy, he never would have won. But
Probably not.
Kawhi getting the Raptors to the finals is a feat itself. That was a ring already won. Like, I mean, come on.
Okay. Then we got Miami versus the Phoenix
I'm
Suns.
going Miami.
Not Phoenix.
No,
Did
man.
you say Phoenix was going to go all the way?
No, never. I wanted them to go all the way. I thought this was a year that I probably wanted them to, but no, no. I'm
So
going Miami.
KD, Bradley Beal, Devin Booker lose to Jimmy Butler and Bam Adebayo and Tyler Hero.
Yes.
Okay.
You know
All
why?
right.
It's
Why?
more. So in my opinion, Miami has more team. Phoenix has stars, but Miami has more team. And Miami has
The
gone
deeper
against
bench.
Miami. Miami goes against stars all the time, and for some reason they beat the brakes off of you last year.
Okay.
Like, I'm just sorry. Like, they can be in last place. Miami will come back and beat you.
Sixers, I mean, we're going to have to go without Embiid. They're going to lose to whoever is on this list. So they played New Orleans Pelicans. They probably get swept there. Maybe one game, maybe one. Maxi will get in one game.
Yeah, Pelicans just
Then we have the Mavericks. Now this is a dark horse team. Now this is where it gets interesting. The Mavericks versus the Pacers. Now that is a series. That's a toss up to me.
the
I
question
want
is
to go Mavericks.
does Halliburton have enough in the tank?
And a 7 game series.
Does he have enough in the tank?
I think that the real question is which point guard can Tyrese Halliburton outpace or control the ball or possession the possession game better than Luca because Luca is a possession player, so he slows the game down. You play Luca ball, you never when you're playing against Luca, you're playing Luca ball. You're playing at his pace.
You're right.
Can Tyrese Halliburton speed the game up? That's what it comes down to.
Uh,
To me, that's a toss up.
I think it's an outscoring situation, right? The Pacers have the highest scoring game this season.
Between them and the Mavericks, both of them are nuclear.
Yeah, that's a tough one. Yeah, yeah,
All
that's a
right.
tough one.
Then you got the Kings versus the Orlando Magic. Now that's another one that's if you don't know the Orlando Magic are one of those teams that are like,
I'm gonna go with Kings because they have more playoff experience.
okay, I like that. Then you got the Bulls at number 9 versus the Lakers. I go Lakers there.
Lakers,
And last but not least, the Golden State Warriors versus the Atlanta Hawks right now.
Warriors.
Warriors.
The West
So
is the West is deeper.
West is a little bit deeper.
West is deeper.
West a little bit deeper.
Yeah,
Okay.
West is deeper. Yeah, I mean, and honestly,
But if you look at the top
so
three,
check this out. Check this out.
three,
Out of everything you said, it's only one East Coast team that won a championship out of all the teams. Milwaukee. There's the only one who won in the last. Oh, excuse me. There's only one East Coast team that won a championship in the last 4 years, and that's Milwaukee.
mm,
We got Denver, L.A., Warriors. Who won it? Oh, and Milwaukee. Those are the only three teams that won a championship in the last 4 years, right?
Denver, Golden State. Yeah, so LA was the bubble year, COVID. Steph Curry was the next year.
Yep. Milwaukee year after that, and then last year was Denver.
No, no, no.
You said it
No,
right. No, you said it right.
no, because they won in 2021. So the LA was 2020, Bucks were 2021,
Then Warriors. Okay, so then Bucks and Warriors were reversed. That's it.
Denver. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, all right. I'll give you that there. They're slightly better, not by much.
I just How about this? How about this? This is what I'll say. This is what I will say. This year, if the East was to win, it's Boston, and it's over a hurt team going into it. It's
Really?
not gonna. It's not gonna be the whole team if Boston wins it. Like, I could see
A little
this.
disrespectful, man. They good. Yo, Boston's good. They got Holiday, Jalen Brown,
What? Let me.
Jason
So
Tatum.
what really changed from that team that lost to Miami in the Eastern Conference Finals? What really changed? Okay, here's another
Point
thing.
guard.
Here
Point
here's
guard.
here's another thing I will say about Boston. They had a coaching change too.
Two
Like,
years ago.
yeah, but that coach 2 years ago got them to the finals.
Correct.
Have you seen Boston's coach?
Yeah, Joe Mazzulla or
You
whatever it is.
come on, man. You wouldn't listen to that
Like,
dude.
yo, it's like
You
anything. It's
you
all right.
you wouldn't listen to that dude if he told you how to fry fish. Let me tell you something, okay?
Nah, man.
Come on, man. That dude's passive. He has talent. You know what you know who he reminds me of? He's probably the coach that was at Milwaukee prior to Doc being there. Like,
Well,
nobody knew.
he's
Mizzou,
you gotta
come
remember
on,
who's in the
bro.
front office though. They got Bradley Stevens, right? Who's in the front office,
Dog,
who was the original coach.
I can only talk about what's on the court, man. That's the only thing I can talk about.
But Boston's a different situation. Their farming system is awesome. They've been in contention for the last decade, almost every
Boston
year.
Boston is a different. I agree. You know what? Last time we talked about Boston, I didn't put respect on Boston's name. I said that Patriots were a B list market or C list market, and I have to run that. I have to take that back. When you talk, you get in trouble when you say too much. I have to take that back.
Yeah, they're top 10 in
Boston's been
every
Boston for a long
category.
time. Boston Red Sox, Boston Celtics, Patriots. They've been Boston for a long time. Boston is in contention. It is definitely a market out in Boston. I
Yo, they
take
got
I walk back what I said about them.
yo, they
So
got Danny
yes,
White. Yo, they got a squad, dude. If they healthy, the real question is who's gonna beat them in a 7 game series if Boston is fully healthy? I don't see a lot of teams beating them, dude. If any in a 7 game series. I
it's
don't
not.
see it.
I don't think it's a
They're so
talent.
versatile.
I don't think it's a talent thing. I think it's a mentality thing. It's about them playing. It's really about them
Yo,
playing one game at a time and not
I want
thinking
to
they
read their
deserve things.
I'm gonna read their roster. Tatum, Holiday, Brown, Porzingis, Danny White, or Derek White, Peyton Pritchard, who's good. Brisket, rebounder, guy, and then they got these guys never heard of. They got Al Horford on the roster. He's balling out this year,
Right.
and they got a whole bunch of these guys you never heard of, but all hustle players. Like just all can score. Like everybody can score on Boston. Everybody. You can't say that on Denver. They got Murray.
Today's the day of the leap year, and I'm a leap in the faith of the West Coast. The finals will be coming out the West this year again.
I'm saying the East is going to win it this year.
Okay. Yeah. Bet.
That's what I'm saying.
Bet.
That's where I'm at. Unfortunately, the Sixers are out of it unless they stay in the play-in somehow, and beats somehow comes back.
How how's Maxi doing? He's still 30 points a game. He's still killing it.
uh, look, look.
We've been going a little over. I got one more question for you after this one.
Yeah, I'm listening.
What is the fate of Ben Simmons? Is this his last year on his contract for the Nets?
Might be his last year in the league.
I think it's the last year in the league.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's going back to
If he
Australia.
if he could if he does come back to NBA, he'll be on a veterans minimum, and he'd be maybe in a situation that'll be really good for him. Maybe and
What
he'll somehow get a ring.
what would
I don't.
you what would lead you to sign Ben Simmons?
That's a great question. Hey Jay, what would lead you to sign Ben Simmons in the state of his career right now?
Are we having a discussion about Ben Simmons?
But
You talking about Ben Simmons, the one who said he's going to give his all to the Brooklyn Nets and then sat out because his leg is sore? You talking about that Ben Simmons?
there you go.
So the answer is nothing.
Ben Simmons
I
that
think
said that he didn't want to play in Philly no more because he didn't like the crowd because then everybody was too tough with him because he didn't want to make a layup underneath the basket, underneath the trigger.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Justin's cousin Jordan, aka the third host of the podcast.
That Ben Simmons? You talking about Benjamin Simmons, the one from Australia? It's kangaroos that's tougher than him. You talking about that Ben Simmons?
That's how we feel about Ben Simmons here.
WNBA players. I'd rather watch a WNBA player
Wow.
play. I think the WNBA is better as a whole collective than Ben Simmons.
Ladies and gentlemen, and that is the future of Ben
My
Simmons.
last one, and I'm done. I seen a kid at the park. He looked like he was about 6 years old, getting up shots. I said, "Oh yeah, he's going to be better than Ben Simmons." That's what I said.
Yeah.
So I think it's Ben Simmons' last year of his contract.
That's a good.
I personally don't think he's done anything to prove that he deserves to still be in the NBA. I think that
Ben Simmons.
and I'm gonna be honest with you. Me personally, I was rooting for Ben Simmons. I saw his potential when he first came into the league. I thought he was a superstar. He had the makings of being a superstar. He has a build of being a superstar. I don't know what his mental and physical blocks are, but I hope he gets it together. I hope he, the year he's not in the league, once he gets out of the league and still knows he has the potential to be in the league, he gets it together. Maybe he needs to go home. He needs to go to Australia, get it back. Like maybe just that year at home or two at home. Get back in the gym, get back with the coaches, get himself together, start shooting, put out some tape, go to a minor league like a G League or somewhere else where it's not as much pressure on him, and get himself back together so he can actually perform as an NBA player like he can. Go.
How old is Ben Simmons?
Ben Simmons is not even 29.
Okay, he's 27. He's really been in the league 6 years, but he sat one out, so he's been in the league 5, right? 5 active years.
Right.
His first. So every year in Philly, all right, his numbers they're not even as good as you think they are, right? He averaged pretty much 15 points or like 16 points in Philly, all layups, never shot a 3-pointer. I mean,
let's pause. 15 points in the NBA should have you starting somewhere. In the NBA. 15 points in the NBA should have you start at his age. Okay, if I have a 20-year-old in the NBA, so from 20 to 29, scoring 15 points regularly per season, that's a starting position somewhere in the NBA. Somewhere. That's 32 teams. He's starting somewhere. He is better than it's 400 people in the league. 400 players in the league, right? As on the roster. He's potentially better than 100 of them at 15 points a game.
Ben Simmons just naturally, his height, he's 6'10", 240 pounds. He can run fast.
He's a stallion. He is a stallion.
He's an amazing defender when he's not hurt, right? He's all these things. This is the problem with Ben Simmons. This has always been a problem with Ben Simmons. Just 3-point category. And his points are a little bit misleading. So his field goal percentage, if he's not in the paint, anything outside of paint, he's shooting less than 20%, right? And he can't stretch the floor. So on a team like the Sixers or any team with a big man, he's pretty much a point center, like, because he can't shoot. So if he doesn't have the ball, he's like a Giannis, but not as aggressive. So imagine Giannis, and the difference between and Giannis is the only comparison I can have because they're very similar. Neither one of them can shoot. What's the difference though? Giannis is a willing shooter.
Giannis plays bully ball.
Well, no. Giannis is, even though
he's going to take this shot. He's going to take the shot. You're right. Yeah.
And you're like, that ain't going in. And when one hits, it's like, okay. And then every once in a while, he may hit 2 or 3 a game. Now you got to come out. Now, once you start coming out on Giannis, now he's going to eat you up. He's going to the hole every time. Bang, bang, bang. Ben Simmons never developed a mid-range, a jump shot, a go-to move, any of that. And every year in the league, he got more and more timid to take the shot.
See, ladies and gentlemen, I knew this was going to give us another 10 minutes of conversation, but hear me out. So he took a year off. He had the problems at Philly. I'm gonna be honest with you. I think Ben Simmons is a black sheep, and not self-inflicted. He's a self-inflicted black sheep, right? His injury, his mental situation, what he's put out in the media, what he's voiced, what his reputation is, what he's shown us, has put him in another pasture, right? So with that said, if you were to touch Ben Simmons, that's not good press for you. Like, for instance, if a retired guard, like, for instance, I think Ben Simmons has the build of like a Magic Johnson point guard, right? Like he's
Yes.
the same height, right? He's the same height as Magic. He plays the same
Taller.
position. He's going to get compared to Magic, right? He's taller. He's going to get
Taller, bigger, faster, more
right,
athletic.
right. So he's getting compared to Magic. If Magic would have put his touch on Ben Simmons, like for instance, like Kareem said he was supposed to put his touch on Shaquille. If Magic would have put his touch on Ben Simmons when he
He
was,
did though.
hear me out, when he was in his prime and still worked him out and still got with him. I think Ben Simmons got to that black sheep and isolated himself. He hasn't developed because he hasn't wanted to develop. But he also hasn't developed because nobody can touch him because he's such bad press. It's not a good look. It's not a good look helping Ben Simmons. It's not a good
Okay.
look defending Ben Simmons. It's
I
not a
know
good look
I know
anything
you're
Ben
down there in
Simmons.
South Carolina, right? So you don't know all the juice that would happen on here. I'm gonna give it to you in 3 minutes, real quick. When Ben Simmons got drafted, right? He got drafted by a coach that was already a family friend, like basically his godfather, right? When he came to the Sixers were just coming out of what we call the tanking era, right? And the process started. They drafted Joel Embiid, and just before Joel Embiid, they had Jaleel Okafor. All these draft picks they had, a lot of them flunked. It was Jaleel Okafor, it was Joel Embiid, it was Ben Simmons, and then Markel Fultz, right?
Okay.
Only one of them panned out, and he's still hurt, right? Complete flop. When Ben Simmons came to the Sixers, he was the average age on the team was 25, right? No veterans. It's the same reason why Joel Embiid's development mentally, which is just now starting, or after Jimmy Butler left, where people he was able to be coachable, right? Where so the problem with Ben Simmons is he came to a team. Brett Brown was the coach. They let Ben Simmons do whatever he wanted. There was no accountability. There was no like, yo, you need to start shooting, or we're gonna bench you, right? Like this guy Nick Nurse or anybody else, yo, you don't start shooting, bro. We gotta bench you. Like, period. Doc Rivers couldn't do it. Nobody could do it, right? Because he's so mentally soft. And then this guy had the audacity, the one and done movie that came out and all this other stuff. Like, at the end of the day, you're a professional athlete. This guy's getting paid on contract. What was $158 million
Made a
to
lot of
learn
money.
how to shoot?
Made a lot of money.
A lot of money. And in high school, he shot the ball. In college, he shot the ball. And also in the summer league, that if you go back, I challenge you to do this. Go back to the summer league and watch that Ben Simmons. You would have thought that Ben Simmons. By the time now, Ben Simmons should be a top 5 player in the league right now with a
Yeah,
mid-range jump shot.
that's
He'd
that.
be
That's what I'm saying. Like
he'd
the
probably be all
potential's there.
yeah, oh yeah, but not anymore because now he has back problems, mental problems, right? His game
Right.
is shot, and nobody believes in him because the stunt he pulled in Philadelphia, where he tried to hold the Sixers hostage,
Right.
because he passed up a wide open dunk, which would have got the Sixers. Well, I shouldn't just pin it on that play. It was a
It's
number
it's
of other
it's one
plays
of the
too,
plays that would have put them
but it's the
over the
marquee
hump.
play where it changed the energy of the game. It changed
Right.
the energy of the game, right?
Right.
So in Philly, let's just say he went up for the dunk, slams it, already missed it, right? Even if he would have missed the 2 foul shots,
He'd have been the man.
still would have been the man. We wouldn't be talking about that, right? Like,
Right.
oh, he missed some foul shots, whatever, cool.
Right.
But what he did was in that play, not only did he pass up a dunk where he was literally right here, he passed it to Martise Thybulle, who shooting percentage from the foul line is equivalent to Ben Simmons. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it wasn't even like an IQ play, none of that. And his excuses for it, Ben Simmons is a guy, and this is what Philly will never respect, is a guy who can't take accountability. And he still to this day has not taken any accountability for his actions on what he did and how he forced his way out of Philadelphia, right? And I'm telling you, there is no other team and no players that want to play with Ben Simmons. Look at everybody. He went to a team with Kyrie Irving, Kevin
KD,
Durant,
James Harden.
Joe Harris.
Oh, yeah, that's
No,
right. No,
James Harden left because they had a
James.
trade. They traded for Ben.
Yeah. Yeah.
But even still, Ben Simmons, and you just swap, him and James Harden. It was supposed to be like an even trade. Even for Brooklyn, people were saying at the time, like Brooklyn won out. They got an all-class defender. They got an amazing passer, more facilitator. He's not going to be bouncing the ball around like
If he played, yeah, I agree.
and Ben Simmons, honestly, plays amazing, like a team like Boston, a team like Golden State, a team like maybe the Kings or something like that. Ben Simmons would be amazing on, right? A point forward, can guard all five, can get, you know what I mean? And he gets his buckets on fast break. All he needs is 8 shots a game on fast break, 8 layups. Ben Simmons can easily do that. You play Ben Simmons on 2K, he's invincible. Okay? But in real life,
Garbage.
a soft ass nigga. And I'm gonna say that for everybody. Soft ass nigga. Soft. And we don't want that here. And nobody wants that. The same reason why he's benched on a team like the Brooklyn Nets, who has nobody better than him, but he's benched.
He benched himself.
And all he had to do
Was
is
play.
put up 500 jump shots a day,
All he has to do is play.
play, and shoot the ball.
All he
Just
has to do is
attempt.
play. You know,
Just
and see, that's my that's why honestly I was rooting for him because if Ben Simmons would just play, all this goes away. But he won't
keeps his
play.
mouth shut. Keeps his mouth shut. Play the game. Right. He could have left Philly at the end of his contract.
Yep.
Chose where he wanted to go.
Yep.
Right. Just and it's just about being a professional athlete. It's getting to the point where it's like, yo, these guys making all this money.
And don't even want to
Now
be
it's like
professional.
it's like, oh, I don't want to play. And great, it's not all their fault. You know, owners. I'm not faulting them for making money. It's just at some point, like, yo, we're paying for you to watch you play, and you're not even available.
You
And then
know,
you're just like, oh, my leg hurt, my toe hurt.
you know what's curious? If this is his last year, and let's say he generated something about $200 million, let's just say probably more than that, but let's say he generated about $200 million. How much money is that in Australia? Like, is he king? Is he Mr. King Australia? And so like maybe he's thinking like it doesn't even matter what I do here anymore because when I go back home, I am beyond the man. I don't know what the ratio is of money or whatever, but it's just interesting. I thought I'd give you a passionate topic before you go. You look, you're not even gonna go to bed till 10 o'clock now, but listen, man, I'm gonna end it there because we could go all night, but I'm gonna end it there. Ladies and gentlemen, that's another episode of Thinking Out Loud podcast. Thank you for watching. I'm your host Dustin Cowan, my cousin Justin. We'll catch you guys later. Peace.